toxic masculinity.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Oh, yes, the next story is amusing. Actually, I love the next story. It's not a nice thing. It's not a good thing, but it is an interesting thing. So let's have a look at the next story. This is something that was covered by Tucker Carlson the other day, and I was just astonished. I was like kind of annoyed that I didn't cover it first, but you can't win them all, right? Let's see here. So 2 racist senators refuse to confirm white Biden nominees. If Biden nominates you and you're white, well, they're not going to vote for you because you're white. This is about as racist as a thing as I could possibly imagine. This is just pure racism, pure and simple. 2 Asian women will not vote for white people because they're white. That's insane. So let's see here. Now, they have made a compromise, apparently. So here's the original story. Democrat Tammy Duckworth, one of the most idiotic... I mean, I hate to say just look at her, but just look at her. I mean, she looks like a moron. Okay, so let's see here. She says she would only vote to confirm a white nominee if they are LGBTQ. Senator Tammy Duckworth vows to vote no on all white straight Biden nominees until an Asian is picked. You must have an Asian somewhere in the cabinet. Democratic Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth vowed Tuesday that she will vote against confirmation of every upcoming white nominee selected by President Biden unless they are LGBTQ until an Asian American or Pacific Islander is put forth for consideration by the administration. This is illegal, by the way. This is illegal. You're not allowed to hire people based on race or not hire somebody based on race. That's illegal. But the Biden administration doesn't seem to care. They're just, in fact, I think that the Biden administration should be sued for this. They have stated openly that they have hired people specifically because of their race. I think even Kamala Harris was brought in as a nominee specifically because of her race. But I'm not sure you could sue because of that, because picking a nominee is different than hiring somebody, and of course America has to vote for it, which is totally valid this year, or 2021. No fraud, nothing like that. Totally legitimate, totally legitimate. Anyway, let's see. Let's keep reading. What are the details? Duckworth told CNN reporter she will vote no on Biden's picks until the president appoints an Asian American and Pacific Islanders to high-level positions in the administration. That's insane. This is also what we call extortion, right? The Biden administration is being extorted by Duckworth in order to hire people in a racist way. It's completely insane. I mean, it's crazy on so many levels. She told the press pool, "I'm a no vote on the floor on all non-diversity nominees. I will vote for racial minorities and I will vote for LGBTQ, but everyone else I'm not voting for. Everyone else is a very specific group. Straight white males." She's being... And let me just say this. Among white people probably enjoy the most diversity of any race on the planet, right? Because we think of diversity as like, oh, this person's black. They've got, black hair, brown eyes, darker skin. Their hair's probably curly. They have specific characteristics. We think of an Asian person, straight hair, very specifically shaped eyes usually, sort of tan skin, probably not very tall, right? Sometimes they are. Northern Chinese are pretty tall. But they have very specific characteristics. Not a huge amount of variation amongst black people, not a huge amount of variation among Asians, specifically like Chinese, Korean, Japanese. Not a huge amount of variation among most people. Most people around the world, black hair or very dark brown hair. Some groups have curly hair, some groups have straight hair, darker skin, this kind of stuff. Brown eyes. Amongst white people, you have a huge gamut of people with very fair skin to relatively dark skin. You have people with green eyes, blue eyes, hazel eyes, brown eyes, black eyes. I had pretty black eyes when I was a kid, actually. You have people with black hair, blonde hair, brown hair, red hair. You have people with freckles. You have people without freckles. You have this huge variety of types within the European population, right? It's even if you don't grow up around Europeans, if you see a blonde European next to a redhead European, next to a brunette European, they're pretty easy to distinguish. They have really strong differentiations. If you watch the Jackie Chan movie and Chris Tucker movie, Rush Hour, you will know that among Asians, all y'all look alike, according to Chris Tucker, and that's not a racist thing, right? That's a lack of familiarity, right? If you lack familiarity, if you don't say live in China for a while, or you're not accustomed to looking at Asian faces, it's probably relatively easy to think that a lot of Asians look kind of similar, right? Because their features don't vary as significantly as a redheaded, blonde, and brunette white person. So we have the most diversity of any race. Tammy Duckworth, you stupid racist. All right, sorry, I digress. Let's continue. The senator complained, there's no AAPI, that means Asian American Pacific Islander. There's no AAPI representation in the cabinet. There's not a single AAPI in a cabinet position. That's unacceptable. No, it isn't unacceptable. It's totally acceptable, Tammy Duckworth. It's totally acceptable. If the best candidates for each position were not Asian American, it's fine that there are no Asian Americans in the cabinet. That's fine. Let's see here. Adding that President Biden will be the first president in 20 years without a cabinet secretary who is AAPI. It's fine, Tammy Duckworth. It's fine. God, she's such a flippin' racist. Okay. Duckworth, who was born in Thailand, explained that she made the decision after being insulted by a comment made by a White House official during a webcast with Senate Democrats on Monday evening, the New York Post reported. According to Duckworth, White House Deputy Chief of Staff Jennifer O'Malley Dillon allegedly suggested that Asian Americans should be satisfied with the fact that Vice President Kamala Harris is part of the administration. No. Asian Americans should be satisfied with the idea that race doesn't matter that much. Okay. It doesn't matter what race you are. You hire the best person for the job. That's what they should be satisfied with. Of course, the Democrats don't think like that. So, okay, yeah, I get it, that you have to have your demographic represented. Kamala Harris is, in fact, Indian, which is in Asia. Okay. Let's see here. According to Duckworth, White House Deputy Chief of Staff Jennifer O'Malley. Okay, yeah, blah, blah, blah. The Post noted that Harris is biracial. Her mother was born in India, and her father is black and from Jamaica, partly black. Duckworth said that when I asked about AAPI representation, the first words out of this staff's mouth were, well, we're very proud of Vice President Harris, which is incredibly insulting. Why is that incredibly insulting? The only reason that should be insulting is the fact that they care anything about race when they're hiring. They shouldn't care anything. It is illegal to hire people based on race. It is illegal to discriminate against people based on race. It is illegal. The executive branch of the federal government is illegally hiring people, all right? These are illegal hiring practices being conducted openly by the federal government. It's insane. Okay, we've got another super chat from Ethan Thompson. I don't think he wrote anything, but thank you, Ethan Thompson. That's very generous of you. Yep, $20. Now, Ethan Thompson, if you wanted to write something to me and you messed it up, because that happens sometimes. My brother messed it up trying to send me a super chat. Just write at Toxic Space Masculinity. That'll come up as orange, and Valeria will send me the text, because if you did intend to write something, then I would like to read it. Okay, getting back to the article. Duckworth said that when I asked about AAPI representation, okay, we already read that part. To be told that, well, you have Kamala Harris, we're very proud of her, you don't need anybody else, well, that's insulting. Last night, that was the trigger for me, Duckworth fumed. That was the trigger for me. You guys aren't racist enough, and therefore I'm triggered. And I'm not going to vote for any white people. I'm going to be even more racist than I want you guys to be, so that you guys can be more racist. What an effing mother... Oh, just God, I hate freaking Democrats. They're so. All right. But multiple times I've heard that, the senator continued, and that's not something you would say to a black caucus. Well, you have Kamala. You're not going to put any more African Americans in the cabinet because you have Kamala. No, you shouldn't hear anything about anybody's race ever. We have an all-white cabinet. That's fine. We have an all-Asian cabinet. That's fine. We have an all-black cabinet. That's fine. If they're the best people for the job, just hire the best people for the job. That's it. That's it. Okay? God. And a lot of times, certain people of certain races don't really want certain kinds of jobs, right? Sort of like men and women. Women don't really love engineering. And so men don't love nursing. So you don't have a ton of male nurses. You don't have a ton of female engineers. That's fine. It's not a systemic problem. It's not because of misogyny or sexism. It's not because of anything like that. This is not because of racism, you stupid woman. This is... God, I hate these stupid racist Democrats. Okay. But multiple times I've heard that. Okay, well, I read that, yeah. The Democrat from Illinois said that she informed the White House this morning of her decision to reject their non-diverse candidates, and they will get back to me. White people are part of the diversity of the world, you stupid woman. Okay? We talk about this all the time. Republicans talk about this all the time, but what's really critical is diversity of ideas, right? Diversity of thought, not diversity of skin color. God, she needs to be represented because she's an Asian. You know what she needs? She needs to be kicked out of office for being a flipping racist. Whoever's running against her next year in Illinois, you have to run on this platform that the woman you're running against is a disgusting racist. I mean, you're going to win on that, I assume, unless there's just an unbelievably high number of Asians in Illinois or delusional, white women who have all that white guilt. Anything else? Following the news of Duckworth's protest, Senator Mazie Hirono of Hawaii, who is the biggest moron ever in the world. Can I just, by the way, okay, well, let me read through this. Okay. Told Forbes that she would join Duckworth in opposing all white straight candidates. We're very serious about it because Joe Biden we're very serious about our racism because Joe Biden made a commitment, Hirono said. He made a commitment to be racist, and therefore we're going to be more racist. We're serious about our racism because Joe Biden said that he would be racist. He's not being as racist as he said he would be. She argued that it's not about pitting one diversity group against another, and that she's happy to vote for Hispanic, an LGBT person, an AAPI person, and she should be happy voting for a white person, but she isn't because she's a racist. Let me go to YouTube real quick. Maisie, I think that's how you spell her name. Hirono. Oh, that is no. Intelligent. Yeah, I think she once said that Democrats have a problem because they have to here it is. They have to because people are unaware about how smart Democrats are. Right? The reason people don't all vote Democrat is because people just aren't aware of how smart Democrats are. Let me go ahead and shoot, I'm on the wrong thing here. Let me switch off the audio for me and let me switch on the audio for her, and let's hear what she has to say.
At a symposium, Democratic Senator Hirono was asked what Democrats must do to connect with voters.
One of the things that we Democrats have a really hard time is connecting to people's hearts instead of here. We're really good at shoving out all the information that touch people here but not here. And I have been saying at all of our Senate Democratic retreats that we need to speak to the heart, not in a manipulative way, not in a way that brings forth everybody's fears and resentments, but truly to speak to the heart so that people know that we're actually on their side.
Then they sing Kumbaya. So wait a second. The problem with Democrats are that they're too intellectual.
I gotta say, I love Greg Gutfeld. But yeah. Anyway, so that she's kind of famous for saying that, right? For saying that that Democrats are just so smart, and people don't get it. People just don't get how smart we are. We're too smart. We're not we're not communicating effectively enough because we're just too dang smart or something like that. And my buddy Kurt, he's from Hawaii. She's his representative, and he hates her with a passion, which is pretty funny. Because she's Japanese, he's Japanese, and but here's the thing about my buddy Kurt that's a little bit different than Mazie Hirono. My buddy Kurt is not a racist, so that helps him to see things a little bit more clearly, I think. So let's see here. So then I guess it was reported that, oh no, sorry, that's my next story. I don't want to get into that. Where's the other story? Well, there's another story that apparently these oh, here it is. Democrat Senators Duckworth and Hirono quickly accept Biden's compromise of Asian liaison appointment. So, to compromise with these stupid racist women, the Biden administration set up some kind of like Asian liaison thing. Let's see here. The White House reversed course Tuesday night, offering one appointment of Asian descent to a liaison position, satisfying Tammy Duckworth's concerns, who lashed out at the administration Tuesday for a lack of Asian representation. Duckworth readily accepted the White House's concession late Tuesday in a statement from her spokesman. Senator Duckworth appreciates the Biden administration's assurance that it will do much more to elevate AAPI voices and perspectives at the highest levels of government, including appointing an AAPI senior White House official to represent the community, secure the confirmation of AAPI appointments, and advance policy proposals that are relevant and important to the community. Yeah, but here's the okay. So they put in some. I don't even know what a liaison position is supposed to be. I'm not sure if it's even a significant position, but I think the reason that these women were like, okay, that's fine. We'll go ahead and vote for white people now, is because I think after they made their position clear, I think a lot of Democrats told them, you can't say that. Like you can't say I refuse to vote for white people because they're white and extort the Biden administration and tell them that you're not going to vote for anybody that they nominate that's white until more Asians are put in place. They're like, that's racist, and you can't do that. And I think they realized that pretty early on. They realized this is not a hill that they could even try to die on, without just looking like complete degenerates. So they were like, okay, whatever they offer us, we'll just take it. Yeah, that's fine. We'll take that. I mean, I don't know. But the real story here, as we all know, is that Mazie Hirono and Tammy Duckworth are total racists, and they don't deserve the positions that they're in. Kurt, I implore you to run for, what is she, senator? I think she's a senator. I implore you to run as a representative or a senator in Hawaii and take Mazie Hirono's seat, because she's a horrible person, she's a racist, and she's awful. Okay, now I kind of hinted at the next story, which is hilarious, but let's go have a look real quick. Useless only. Okay, so this is the next story, in case you guys are wondering. Useless nose only COVID masks to wear while eating. Okay, so this is there's this new thing that was developed in Mexico, apparently. Toxic Masculinity. Weekdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.